You ever have one of those weeks where you think the universe has finally run out of new ways to screw with you, but then bam, life finds a fresh one? Yeah, that's how I ended up taking down a $5 million lakefront fantasy in the middle of Willowbrook Estates, all because someone smashed my backyard bridge. I know sounds nuts, but let me back up a sec. See, after my divorce, all I wanted was some peace by the water. I'd spent years engineering water systems for other people, so I figured a little house on Lake Serenity was a solid shot at a fresh start. Nothing fancy, just a modest home with a backyard sloping down to a man-made lake built in the 90s. Place cost me about $450K, but honestly the best part was the morning sunrise on the dock, coffee in hand, no one telling me what to do. So me being me, I decided to build a simple wooden bridge out to a small dock. That thing wasn't just wood and screws. It was meditation. 3 months, every Saturday morning, I'd be out there carving railings, sanding down the arch, staining the wood this perfect honey color. It became my own little symbol that, yeah, maybe I could build something good after everything else had fallen apart. For a while, that bridge was just mine until Angelina Dixon decided it was her problem. Now, Angelina, picture a woman who treats a clipboard like a weapon. She's the kind of HOA president who probably dreams in Robert's Rules of Order. One morning I find this envelope tucked under my windshield wiper, crisp white paper, her name in a font fancier than my signature. The letter reads like she's auditioning for an Oscar. Dear Mr. Harper, your unauthorized structure is a visual obstruction, detracts from our upscale aesthetic, must be removed in 10 business days. Signed with a flourish. Yeah, that happened. I figured, okay, let's be adults. Maybe I can reason with her. So I drive over to her mansion, seriously $5 million, if it's a penny, the kind of driveway that makes you feel poor just pulling in. Angelina meets me in her living room, which looks more like a catalog than a home. She offers me coffee from a machine that probably costs more than my truck. Mr. Harper, she says, that smile not even touching her eyes, our community has standards. I try to explain maybe we could work something out, but she's ice cold. Not a negotiation, she says, like she's stamping my sentence. Bridge goes or you face escalating fines. 10 days later, I come home and my bridge, my sanctuary, is reduced to splinters. Demolition crew packing up Angelina, waving at me from her deck like nothing's wrong. You know what I mean? I'm standing there staring at the wreckage of my one peaceful thing and something in me just snaps. That night, wading through the shallows, I collect every last broken piece. I drag what's left up the bank and I make this rough little sign, "This was mine." Planted it right where the bridge used to start. Didn't matter if it looked sad, it was all I had left. Next morning, Matt Cooper shows up, six-pack in hand. He's got his own war story. He's got fined $300 for wrong color curtains. Can you believe that? Turns out Angelina's been on a tear for 2 years. Daffodils, not matching spring color schemes. Mailboxes, not expensive enough. Even Clara Rhodes, who never talks to anyone, sneaks by and tells me she's been keeping records of all the stuff Angelina pulls. Someone needs to stop her, Clara whispers, looking over her shoulder. Then comes another letter, this time $500 fine for my unauthorized signage. I don't even blink. I march over, ring Angelina's bell, look her straight in the eye and say, "You want to play games? Let's play." 2 days later, I get hit with a $3,000 environmental fine. Apparently my bridge splinters are polluting her precious lake. But I know this stuff. I've done environmental compliance for a living. Her legalese is total garbage. So I double down. New sign, bigger with concrete. My bridge lives. Matt stands with me, grinning like a kid tightening bolts, while Angelina paces her windows, staring daggers. Matt then drops a bomb. She fined him $800 for his curtains because the HOA secretly approved a list of acceptable window treatments. That's when I realize it's not just me. She's playing the whole neighborhood. A few days later, Angelina sends a community-wide email painting me as some kind of domestic terrorist trying to destroy property values. She even calls me a dangerous radical. I'm so mad my hands are shaking, but you know what? Her email tips her hand. She's scared people might listen to me. So I start digging. A few trips to the county planning office and bam, the truth lands in my lap. Lake Serenity, built on a dam from the 1960s by Angelina's own family's construction company. No real inspections in decades. Water quality problems going way back, including letters from Clara's late husband warning about chemical smells and weird sludge. Clara slips me this old envelope with memos about hiding problems and keeping water levels high to mask sediment. I fire off my own email to the community asking some uncomfortable questions. When's the last time the dam was checked? Are we sure it's safe? I attach county documents. Suddenly my inbox lights up. Neighbors thanking me, others repeating Angelina's lines, but the best ones. Old-timers remembering dead fish, stinky summers, weird colors in the water. I put up a new sign, Truth Over Rules, with a QR code so folks can check the records themselves. Angelina starts coming unglued. More fines, now $5,000 a pop, but the letters come from her personal email and the signature looks like she's trembling. Then my old buddy Jake from the state EPA calls, says, Lake Serenity's been on a watch list for years. Next day I find an anonymous envelope in my mailbox. Lab report sketches of the dam warnings about cracks. There's even a memo, keep quiet, don't alert residents. Someone's been covering up something nasty. Clara can't sleep, hands me more documents. Her husband tried to get the dam fixed. The board voted him down. Angelina's granddad promised to handle it cheaper. The cover-up's been going on for 30 years. At this point, I reach out to Jennifer Walsh, an environmental reporter. She's all in, says this stuff happens in fancy communities all the time. She starts digging, warns me that Angelina's going to get desperate. She's not wrong. That evening, another sign goes up, Beautiful Lake, Broken Dam. Phones start ringing, neighbors ask questions, even some of Angelina's supporters start to waver. Night after night, I walk by the lake and now I see it cracks. In the dam, oily water, an entire neighborhood living on a time bomb. And then with Matt's help, we hatch a plan. He creates a distraction with his boat while I sneak down and open the spillway gate just enough to lower the lake a few inches, expose the truth hiding in the mud. The drop is subtle at first, but by the weekend, the smell is unmistakable. Industrial chemicals, rainbows of oil on the shoreline. People start taking pictures, calling the EPA. Angelina panics, sending out dramatic emails, blaming sabotage and calling an emergency live stream where she blames me for everything, revenge, environmental terrorism, the whole 9 yards. But she can't control the narrative anymore. Residents in the comments start fact-checking her in real time, telling stories about dead fish and stinky summers that go back years before I ever showed up. The EPA steps in, finds contamination everywhere, and the local paper runs a front-page expose, decades of cover-up at Luxury Lake community. What happens next? Total chaos. TV news lawyers, federal investigators, class action lawsuits everywhere. Angelina's polished image shatters. She goes live one last time, blaming me, calling me a terrorist, but Matt calls in with old photos, other neighbors back him up, and the community finally sees her for what she is. One night, Angelina shows up at my door, barely holding it together. "You have no idea what you've done," she yells. I just look at her and say, "This was never about revenge, it's about truth. You destroyed my bridge, but you destroyed this community's trust long before I ever got here." Federal charges land. The state declares the lake a hazard zone. Property values tank overnight. But a funny thing happens, people stop hiding behind curtains and start talking to each other. Matt helps folks fix up their homes. Clara steps up, sharing what she knows, bringing people together in ways Angelina never could. Angelina. She ends up in court pleading guilty, loses everything. The lake's drained crews working day and night to clean it up. It'll take years, millions of dollars, and the scars might never fully heal, but for the first time, this place feels like a real community. People look out for each other, share stories, work side by side, because once the secrets come out, you can't put them back. 8 months on, I'm sitting on the small new bridge I built. Nothing fancy, just enough for my coffee and a good view. Matt cracks a beer next to me. Clara brings cookies. We just sit in the dusk, listening to machines in the distance, knowing this time what we're building is honest. And as the sun goes down, I get a letter from someone across the country. Another HOA fighting the same battle, asking for advice, for hope. You know what I mean? Sometimes losing a bridge is the only way to find out which ones are worth rebuilding. And sometimes the only thing that brings people together is a truth too big to ignore. So let me ask, what would you have done? Was it justice or just another kind of revenge? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me where you stand. This story's not just mine, it's anyone who's ever had to fight for a second chance.